just to provide affordable housing in the city of Oklahoma City. We know it. It's been happening since 2015. Oklahoma City has seen an increase in housing costs that many of our coastal cities have experienced. Austin is the other inland location that's experienced that. So there's a lot of work surrounding homelessness and housing. Both are extremely complex. So we hope to, many of our coastal cities have experienced. Austin is the other inland location that's experienced that. So there's a lot of work surrounding homelessness and housing. Both are extremely complex. So we hope to bring on 500 what we call permanent supportive housing homes. Those are homes that meet the Housing First model. They meet fidelity, and they're homes that are meant for individuals experiencing chronic homelessness with a disability. They stay as long as they need to stay. As long as they're following the lease, we have a home.
That's cool. And so, that's something that I know that our volunteers for a long time have looked at buildings around the city and said, why couldn't that be repurposed? Why couldn't that be repurposed? And so this is like, when I heard this, I was like, that's brilliant. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, taking some buildings that already exist, fixing them up, and then creating spaces for folks that, that Shelter Life's not working for, and that Shelter Life is kind of, it's a temporary thing, and it's like our feeding ministry. We know that feeding is great, but also at some point you have to address the next step of how do you help people get their own resources, their own food. And so, so the thing that Laura introduced to our group was this idea of they're taking care of the place, right? They're making the space. They have people that are working on it. They have this whole crew, construction crew, and rehab crew, and all these people, and those resources, but there is a gap, and that's commonly what we find is there's a gap, and part of that gap is that when they come in off the street, and we've talked about this a lot, you don't have all that stuff. If you're coming from the street, you don't have a bed, you don't have kitchenware, you don't have a table, right? So they're going to be providing a lot of those things, but there's this little gap left for dishes, shower curtains. Who thinks about that? So if you moved into an apartment and you need shower curtains, what are you going to do? You're going to go down to Walmart and get one, right? Or you're going to go to Dollar General or somewhere, right? But these folks who don't have transportation and don't have funds, how are they going to do that? Well, a shower without a shower curtain, I don't know if you've tried that, I have. It's not very helpful, right? The water goes everywhere, so it's going to be a mess. So they need like certain things, bedding, things we take for granted, they are going to need help with. And so that's kind of what we've been invited to do. Is that right?
Absolutely. One of the largest gaps, we think, let's just get that person a home. That's not the wrong answer. We need homes, right? But the hardest part to keep someone housed with dignity and respect is being able to provide what they need to move in. There are over 1,182 people that have been counted in the last point in time count. It's the count every January that happens. That's predicted to be anywhere from 4 times higher. So we have upwards of 9,500 folks that could be experiencing chronic unsheltered homelessness in the city of Oklahoma City. Well, let's get everyone a home. Yes, let's do. What happens when you walk into a home with potentially just vinyl flooring? You may have a shower. How do you open your canned goods that the case manager gave you a fridge and a pantry fill? How do you take a shower without a towel? How do you wash your body for the first time without the soap needed? Where do you drink your first glass of water? All of these things we take for granted. Where do you put your trash? We need trash bags. And then having things like brooms, mops, to have the dignity to keep your home in the condition you want it to be kept in. Those are things we take for granted. And allowing us to have those items for the move-in, it provides the veteran with a sense of autonomy and ownership that allows them to start to build community in order to continue to meet their self-sufficiency goals.
And I think one of the cool things that came out at our little round table we got together and we were talking about this was the idea of these move-in kits providing like dignity. And someone came up with the idea of welcome mat. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, yeah, a welcome mat. Who thinks about, like, that's not like necessary, but what a beautiful thing that would be. And then we talked about like some handwritten notes maybe that our people could do for these moving kits. So that's kind of what we're being asked to do, right? Is to help out with these moving kits. Yes. And let's go over the nuts and bolts of what that looks like.
Sure. So soon, I hope, there's an email coming out with an Amazon wish list, and there are items there that are pretty basic, we think are basic.
We're going to stock a kitchen, a bathroom,
Toilet paper.
Like there's a lot of, and like all of us can participate. Like there's nothing that's crazy off the charts there, and there's certainly things that are very inexpensive and affordable for you if you would like to purchase one of those and make that a reality. But basically, we're going to start this in July. I mean, you can get a head start, clearly, from today on the app. We'll get started in July, and we'll talk about this every Sunday. We'll talk about how we're progressing with that. And then I believe, I wrote this down, I believe someday in the future, August, September, October, sometime, we'll have an opportunity to come together and help your staff put these kits together. Is that right?
Yes. So the importance of seeing your phones light up and the Amazon wish list happening right now, we just received word that we're moving our first veteran in the beginning of August.
Whoa, yeah. That's quicker than we thought.
Well, construction is crazy.
Okay.
I've learned that. So we will be moving our first veteran in the beginning of August. We hope to have some opportunities, you did not know this, but at the end of July.
Okay.
For some volunteer. We're going to have furniture delivered. We're working very hard to get all of the furniture purchased and put together, but we'll have furniture delivered. We have cleanup that needs to happen. I have a library to build that I'll be reaching out for some of our friends at the library to help with. So I think there's going to be some volunteer opportunities that can come about from this.
Awesome. Great. So we'll keep you updated on that. The one big thing I remember we talked about, no glassware, right?
Exactly.
No glass, so it's plastic.
Yes.
Silverware even and all that stuff we talked about.
Yep, and that's on the Amazon wish list as well.
Yeah. So, again, thank you so much for sharing. Did I cover everything? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, so...
I missed something.
That's all right. So Pastor Clark should never give me a microphone that I can hold close to my face. So if you're interested in providing monetary donations, we will welcome those. Sometimes it's easier. We can provide a letter for tax purposes. It will cost us, at a minimum, $815 just to put a bed, a kitchen table, a living room chair in the home. So if you would like to sponsor a room, feel free to reach out. I have cards. I believe my contact information is in the email. So if that is of interest to you, let me know and I can help make those connections happen.